Okay, believe, yeah, okay, so the microphone is showing is on. We are recording. And yeah,
Oh, okay. I'll wait for Christine to answer. No,
She literally just texted me saying, can you
Call me in.
meeting?
Kids today, huh?
I know, seriously.
all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's 6:35, call the meeting to order. This is the Land Trust of Coventry. Josh, can you please, we have a quorum. I guess I should go around the room and call for attendance. Lynn Carlson, Vice Chair.
Linda Brennan. Elsa Block.
Rory Carmody.
Josh Chase.
Okay, thank you. So we have 4 members here. We have a quorum. Josh, can you give me the evacuation instructions?
Absolutely. Out either of those 2 doors and then to your left.
Great, thank you. We need to then go through and approve the minutes. The first ones on the agenda are from the March 19th meeting. And those were last month's. So does anybody have any changes to the minutes?
I know
Someone
your
from
name is spelt wrong,
Everywhere,
Yeah.
also in the top part.
Yeah. which I think may be my fault.
How?
I think I got an email from you saying that your last name is Brock.
There's simply no way. Because my last name is not.
I do recall I was slightly confused
Okay, so I may have worded it.
by, but yeah, I'll, yeah. And then I told the woman who was doing the minutes, and so that's
Got it, okay.
why that is wrong everywhere.
I have a number of them. I can go through mine while the rest of you are reviewing them.
Sure.
I
Okay,
mean, I read through, but I didn't catch anything.
this is the March 19th
19th.
meeting. My first correction is that the page numbers are incorrect, starting with page, oh, these are, okay, I'm sorry, forget that. The page numbers on the one that I got in the mail were incorrect, but these are now correct. The page numbers on the one that I got in the email were scrambled. So never mind that one. So now what's where we talk about the information about George Christie should not be under merchandise. So that's on page 7, item number 77. That may have been where the discussion was, but this doesn't really have anything to do about merchandise.
No, because I'm making them t-shirts, I just haven't gotten around to finishing them.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that I don't know what the protocol is in terms of the items, if we're supposed to put them on the minutes in terms of how we discuss them, or if we're allowed to move them to places where they really should belong. Because this was kind of like almost new business where George came and talked about the
Yeah.
permit and whatnot.
Yeah, I think he spoke in a couple places.
He did. I think I have
yeah.
another note to myself about something else.
Maybe we could just label it other research and put it up under 7.6.
This one is that in Ozzy Osbourne, like that.
I just love, this kid's name is Alice with an S.
Yeah.
And they suggested the duck's name be Alice
With a
with a C.
So if we put,
We're gonna go through.
Yeah, so I'd like to, if we can legally move
move this
One of yourself.
under
the
here,
George Christie under the
frog and bat research and other research, we can relabel that. Is that possible? And then move it underneath there and then just The only item under land trust merchandise would be the
I-
T-shirt.
I believe it has to be written on here as it was written on the agenda,
Okay,
so I don't think we can change it.
okay, but can we
Um,
just move that paragraph up? Even
I
though-
will find out.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
yeah, cause there's no vote on that, but I think we probably could just leave the T-shirt where it is.
Mhm.
Everybody's getting extra large, by the way, because that's how I buy the T-shirts in bulk.
Hey, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I said a couple things from a little bit earlier,
Pros are having a
I
time of
think-
it.
I hope we
They're
said,
rats.
we agreed that the cleanup was gonna be 10 to 2. That's what I thought we had discussed.
And it says 10 to
It
4.
says 10 to 4,
What does the sign say?
the signs that I sent out to y'all for confirmation
It
was
was
10 to 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
And what
sure it
got
was
posted
10 to
was
2.
10 to 2,
10 to
right?
2.
Yes.
Good catch.
So I don't
Where is this
catch.
located?
Four important dates, it says.
Yeah.
It's gonna be from 10 to 2. Also, again, I'm still trying to figure out what is important and what isn't as far as editing stuff, but right beneath that, it says that I created a map of areas that are priority. I hadn't done that, I just was saying that I would do that with.
Okay,
Okay.
just add will create. Will create.
I think Miss Brock was doing that, no, not you.
That's so true. Very true.
I'll have to have a word with her.
So yeah, well, I need to change your name on
Yeah.
that as
Yep.
well.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
all the way
everywhere.
It's
through.
throughout, yeah.
Okay. Throughout.
Search and.
Yep.
Mhm.
I would like to do a search and replace for all instances of game camera and replace it with wildlife camera
Okay,
in both the minutes and the agendas. I don't want to imply that we're using that to hunt.
okay,
Correct.
that's a good,
And I may have been errant in not bringing that up before, so it may say game camera on previous minutes, but
It,
um,
it does.
from here on out, if we can call
Change
it
wildlife, yeah.
wildlife camera.
I also think in the part that's currently called game camera, it just says that we had suggested that you put a sign up, but it might be important just to include that you would not show us. This, like the signs are already produced, you would show us the signs that we're
Okay.
planning to put up already.
So that's on, did you get that, Josh? On
Nope.
Page 5.
6.8,
6.8, yep.
it just says that we suggested that she put a sign up, but what happened was that she had showed us options of the sign that was planning to be put up already.
Members of 60% camera.
These have already been produced or something to that effect.
And then for 7.6. As of now, it is really just gonna be frog specific, but I just didn't know if instead of just saying an organization, we should specify the name of the researcher, because it isn't an organization, it's not Brown University as a whole, it's like a specific researcher.
Yeah,
And Andrea Simmons, so
Andrea Simmons.
spelled like Andrea, then.
Is it SIMM or
Yeah.
SY? Is a doctor?
That's a great question, I assume, I just call her Andrea.
And she's at Brown.
Yeah, she's part of the Brown
Okay.
Cliffs Department, which is CLPS, so the cognitive, linguistic, and psychological studies, but she also
Okay.
does this,
I'm sure she's doctor.
but yeah. I'll look into that.
Okay. We are missing the guests in the top. Don't we usually have the guests present? As part of who is in attendance?
Yes, she is a PhD, so she is a
Okay.
doctor.
Miss Cotter
Miss Cotter.
from the property that she was wanting to talk about.
Mhm,
And we
Yeah,
had
we had-
George Christie,
yeah,
mhm,
those were our guests.
mhm.
Yeah, we had, it talks about Miss Cotter under the new business for discussion section, like under the 7.1 Cotter property. So it's in there sometimes.
Yeah,
which we did move to the top, so I wonder if that should be moved to the top of the minutes.
yeah. Just like a guest, members present,
Hmm.
guest present, maybe.
Also within the frog and bat restriction, this might just be me not. The question more than everything, but did we say, or did Jenna say that we were gonna send a copy of the permit for the researcher to the police station? I don't remember us saying that, but that might just not be.
I thought we did.
We did vote on it.
Yeah.
We voted in the
Just as-
affirmative to let
Yeah.
them have a
The car will
permit.
be there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I just didn't, what I was under the impression of and what like I remember was that we were gonna. Give her a permit to like put in the window of the car. I wasn't sure if
Oh,
that meant that, like, cause this says a copy of the permit will be sent to the police station, so they will not be
And
concerned.
I know we were gonna at least let them know.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I just didn't remember.
yeah, whatever's in
Okay.
the car, we should probably give to the police as well.
mhm.
Hmm.
uh,
I don't
defer to-
remember one
I
way or the
defer to
other.
Jenna
Yeah.
on if she's actually sent the copy.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
the-
she sent it to me and I sent it to the researcher,
Oh,
so
okay.
like the permit.
The permit
But I
exists?
let her know,
Okay.
I let the researcher know, like.
Okay,
Like put this
In your car, okay. did you send a copy to Jenna?
She
Jenna
sent-
made it.
sent-
Jenna made
She sent it to me and then I sent it.
So,
Okay.
okay,
I
So-
just don't know if Jenna.
sent it to the police.
Okay,
So I think we should leave it in this way in the minutes, but then we just need to check in with Jenna to make sure that that actually happened.
right. When is the research gonna happen? Before-
He is planning is from May. Through July, I believe, is like,
Okay.
it's the primary frog mating and active seasons.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, then maybe it would behoove us to send, for you to send a copy of the permit to Josh and Josh send it to the police before, in other words, I don't know when Jenna's gonna be back to,
I think she's only gonna be gone for 3 or 4 days.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
I
You have it?
certainly can. I do not have a copy, but
I'll just forward Jenna's,
Okay, few couple more things from me, for 7, 8 and 7, 9. I think I'd have something under there that says table for next meeting,
yes,
because it
Okay.
looks like
I
we
agree.
were there and it was. It's like, what happened?
yes.
So we want to put table.
For next meeting, yep,
And I think we should, the last thing I have is that we should strike on the last page there under public comment, N/A, not applicable, because meeting with the changes that we've discussed.
I second it.
So Rory makes the motion and Linda seconds. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Any opposed? Any further discussion? Okay, so the motion carries to approve the minutes for March 19th with the amendments noted. All right, so next on the agenda is to approve the August 2024 minutes. This goes back a very long way. I don't
I don't
think-
remember.
I don't
Enough.
either. I looked through them and I
But I can't,
think
Yeah.
everything seemed okay.
yep.
Yep.
And Elsa wasn't here, so you can't. So can I have a motion to go ahead and approve the August 2024 minutes as written?
I so move Linda Brennan.
Second, Rory seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. With Elsa unable to vote.
Technically, she can.
You can.
Technically she can?
She's-
Aye.
Okay, aye.
I think that we're approving.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
approving. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
if the person who is not there still thinks that the minutes are a proper representation,
Okay,
they
we can vote.
Yep.
Okay,
they can.
perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so did I do this already? All in
Yeah,
favor?
I-
Aye.
you- I
Okay,
know.
okay. Any opposed? Any further discussion? Okay, so the August 2024 meeting minutes are approved as written. And the last thing we have to do, I don't know. March 16th,
We have to
2024.
do the
Yeah, we have to
site
do
walk.
those. Do we have minutes from March 16th?
Yes, it's.
Oh, it's just this,
this-
this
yeah,
is, okay.
yeah,
So this
need
was
properly
the approval of the site walk minutes of the lot, sorry, assessor's plat 10, lot 38 on Nooseneck Hill. Does anybody have any changes to these minutes, or may I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve them.
Linda makes a motion to approve. Can I have a second? Seconded by Rory. All in favor?
I
Aye.
didn't put anything in
Okay.
with the geese.
Hmm.
Isn't this the one where the geese were following us where?
That was the one that is outside of our budget. Yeah, sadly,
And still for sale.
still for sale.
Mhm.
Has the price dropped?
I haven't called on it lately to see, but I
think so.
it
It would have to drop by a little.
right by half more.
Okay, treasurer's report. We've submitted the treasurer's report. We have a copy of it. We haven't spent any money in the past month, so it stays the same as it was last month. We currently have a balance of $459.94 in the regular budget, and we have $708.15 we could still spend on signs if in fact it remains and gets approved as an expenditure. Does anybody have any questions about the balances? Okay. Am I supposed to move to accept the treasurer's report?
I don't believe you have to.
Okay,
I think it
all right.
just is.
It just is. Okay. Outreach and volunteer efforts. So I guess there was a lot of discussion about outreach last month. My notes have that I wanted to go over tonight, and please remind me if I've missed anything, was first to go over some things that Elsa was going to look into. First, Girl Scouts participation, and second was Farm Fresh participation. Did you want to mention anything about that?
For that, or did you already include write Jenna's notes about the minutes?
I have a copy, so I'll take those into account.
Okay, cool. Great, sorry, I just wanna make sure that we didn't skip over her.
Thank you.
Her edits. Yeah, no, so nothing new on that. I can certainly reach out to Farm Fresh if it's something that we're interested in, I think. We were saying, as far as Girl Scouts go, I think our lovely new member was saying she is a troop
Leader, yeah.
question mark?
Mhm.
So yeah, I was hoping to ask her today, but obviously not about whether that's something that she has done. I think ideally, especially because as you guys have said in the past, we've had like either no response or just no luck with getting troops. I think if we have
Mhm.
somebody on the trust that is actively troop leader, that is our best bet, so. If people think it's worth it for me to reach out to Farm Fresh about their connections, I can. I think the participation in this is really like. I think that already says a good thing about our connection with the schools. Like, I think this is a
Yeah.
good in.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
But I do think the Girl Scouts connection is something that is lacking and that could be really useful just as far as the kind of work that we do. So,
Okay, well, I guess proceed with your thoughts on speaking with Shay about participation. And Lori, had you tried to get to the Scouts before, the Girl Scouts before?
Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
Yeah,
before,
struck out,
okay,
yeah.
okay, I knew it was one of the Scouts.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever we can do to get more people involved. Yeah, I think the Farm Fresh can maybe be put on the back burner for now.
Mhm.
You got such a good turnout from the pages. I was so pleased.
Yeah,
And what
that's
if there's-
crazy, the number.
What if there's a way we can work off of that too, like every now and then do something again with the schools, like we're gonna have a geocaching at one of the trails.
Right.
Help
That'd be
find
great.
whatever the duck's name is, like,
Mhm.
that representation of the duck
Mhm.
somewhere, and if you
Yeah.
find it, you know. You can record it in the journal or something, I don't know, but they seem very,
Yeah,
like I said, Western Elementary did a great job. I think they got everybody,
That's great.
yeah,
maybe we can get a stuffed.
that's what I'm
duck.
thinking of.
Yeah.
For the
Like
geocache.
our duck thing, I'm gonna try to figure out if there's a way to do that,
Mhm,
but yeah, no, they're very cool.
okay.
as just, sorry, quickly on the Girl Scouts thing, do we want to ask Shay about doing that? Like, if she has, or if that's something that she could do to try to have some of her troop come for like an Earth Day thing, or do we more just wanna just like get a
That's
foot in
great.
the door? And like, should we email her after this meeting and like ask?
Yeah.
hey, is
But
there
that's for
any
Earth
way
Day, why not, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're gonna ask who, Jen was gonna see at the library if we could hang all of these coloring sheets somewhere outside the library, so people, the community can look at them as well.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
it's terrific.
Yeah.
that- cracking me up.
They're
Maybe we'll look on
riot.
that here.
LeBron, he's got the Lakers colors, I love that.
I know.
That's pretty good.
Ah,
Yeah, why? It's pretty good. Okay, yeah, so I can send
Okay,
you an
great,
email, Josh, and
Mhm.
then I guess you can send it to.
Yep.
everybody.
thank you.
Okay.
So I know the post was made for Land Trust Days on, I guess, Facebook. Do we know if we have anybody signed up as of
We have 0 people.
0 people? Okay,
Yeah, so, I know Jenna's been busy. I'm hoping to get a little bit more going on the Instagram, just cause like you can't really get engagement if you just post it like one
Yeah.
time on the story, because once the permanent post is up, it only shows up on people's feed once, so you gotta
Mhm.
keep putting it on, so I can't do that. If y'all have, Facebooks, Instagrams, you guys, it's a public account, so you guys should be able to post it like however many
Okay.
times you
Okay.
want, adding it to your stories on either Facebook or Instagram. I think there is a separate post on each, so, that like whatever works best for you,
So how I'm, dinosaur, so if I go on the Land Trust Facebook page, I'll find it.
I
Okay.
will, yeah, I can show you
Okay, if
what
you,
it'll look like.
yeah, because I think I have the poster somehow and I posted it on my
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah,
page.
exactly. So this is, if you just look up Coventry Land Trust, it'll come up. And this is the page, so all you'll really have to do is you can just click where it says share down there.
Okay,
And if you want to like add a little of your own personal comment to it, you can like type something here where it says say something about this, but you
Right.
can also just share it and it'll just
Okay.
basically like copy this exact post to your feed.
okay. I mean, I've done the sharing kind of thing before, but I've never been on the Land Trust Facebook page, and so I can just
Mhm.
look it up. And it's Coventry Land Trust, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, and then don't know. Yeah, I had asked if she could put the link. I don't think she's done that. So I had asked if we could have the link in the to the sign up form
mhm,
attached, and I don't think it's there. It's not on the Facebook. I'm looking at the Instagram right now. Ideally, the
Hmm.
link to it would be in our like the Land Trust Instagram bio, because then it's just permanently there. Until we get rid of it. Cloud service in this building, but. Yeah, so like I said, I know
Okay.
Jenna's got a lot going on, hopefully. Yeah, no, so it's not in Facebook or Instagram, so ideally we can get the form to sign up. Put in the bio for Coventry Land Trust, we should honestly be having it posted to the story, like. I mean, there's no reason not to have it every day, and then same with the Facebook, we should have the link up there and just have all of us be sharing it. Here's-
Do you have the Instagram account that? So are you able to share it on Instagram?
Oh my God.
I don't have an I
Sorry, there was
I
something
have an
else.
old Instagram. I can see if I can get back into it.
But no, I asked Jenna about getting the like login info for the
Mhm,
Instagram and stuff,
mhm.
so that I could do some of
Mhm.
that. She said that she would post these things and then we could, like, she would either give it to me or like talk about it in
Okay,
the future. I
okay.
would love to have that info, just so I
Okay.
could be
Yeah.
active on there. Especially just like if people are going out, if you guys are doing anything, sending photos to Josh and then to me.
Okay.
Just be posting more, and then, yeah, we should just have the post about it, like, going up every day on the story, because that's how we can reach people, and, yeah, especially, I mean, for myself, like, everybody that, like, I've been sharing primarily through Instagram, just
Okay.
because it's really easy to just send the
Yeah.
posts to people, but again, it needs to be on the story.
Okay.
Not that
So
useful.
when Jenna gets back, hopefully we can
Yep.
get that fired up. Okay, so that'll be forthcoming, I think, then to get more things on Instagram.
It's, we should start, like, hopefully that can start even just like within the next couple of days, just because, yeah, we've got 0
Yeah,
sign up.
well, yeah. People may not sign up either. They may just
That's true.
show up
But
because
I mean,
and they,
I'm
once
hoping
they,
in case.
when they sign up, they feel like I'll have to go.
Right.
And so they may just show up because they don't want to commit.
Yeah.
Well, have we had
I don't know
signups
that.
before?
Hmm.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't-
Just have
no,
people
just
show up.
have people show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just because we were talking about how last time you guys had the problem that nobody did,
showed
I
up.
think
Yeah.
Right.
just having a sign up would give us an idea that like,
Yes.
This is
at least
serious.
there would be
Yes.
people, and also
Yeah.
give us a, easy way to share it by saying,
Right.
like, here's how you do it, here's the info, you can sign up.
We've actually had better attendance at previous events, so that was really an outlier.
Tough with Ledgeville, people getting out there, finding it, that whole thing, cause.
Right,
Yeah,
And the weather's gonna be a big factor, so
Yes.
hopefully it'll be nice.
yeah.
yeah, hopefully it's a nice day.
Yeah.
People will be hoping to get outside.
Antsy to get outside. too.
Plus, because Earth Day is more of a national thing.
Yeah,
people might Pay
right.
attention more to it than they did for just a land trust walk.
Right,
Yeah, exactly, which is why,
Yeah.
especially because ours is actually after Earth Day, that we can take advantage of. Like the Earth Day post
Mhm,
hype that
mhm.
happens right around it,
Mhm.
so that people are seeing our post more, seeing that there's something to do, but then
Right,
it doesn't overwhelm the actual day that is Earth Day, so. Yeah, we just gotta make sure that we're taking advantage of it.
okay.
so I know the flyers went up around. I put them at the kiosks for Ledge, on Ledge Road and at Sullivan. at the Bramblebush side, and I took it to the senior center and the grocery store, Stop and Shop, and Dave's. And I think you were going to Green Library.
So I had,
too.
I was supposed to go to Green Library. A friend came in from Washington State. I didn't get there that day.
Okay.
But, so would still like to have another flyer for that, because what I ended up doing is we went out to lunch and I stuck one in the dinette.
Oh, okay.
In the Gentleman Farmer.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's a good idea.
and so if there are more flyers available, I'll take a few more and try to get them posted in the next.
I don't know, I completely forgot to grab them. But I can say, do I can drop them here in the next day or so, or no, like I
Yeah.
just brought them.
Yeah. We can.
Were you able to like have any sort of sheets thing for the ones that?
Yeah,
outside?
I actually have a mess of them in.
Oh,
there.
lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is what I was
Yeah,
saying. The
yeah.
second that we put
The
them
ones
up,
in the
it's definitely
kiosks, I think,
available.
were safe because they have the cover.
Perfect.
Yeah, they should have been
Thank you.
okay.
I sent the flyers to the school department in Camp Westwood. So hopefully they'll-
So they're around.
They are
I
definitely
just,
around.
they're around.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I
great.
can bring the. Does it make the most sense? Like I can just bring the rest of the stack, say for maybe a few that I can put up in a couple places and just leave them somewhere here for people? Does that?
Yeah, here
work?
would be probably a
Where,
central
like-
place.
I can stick it up on our bulletin board outside the office.
Perfect. Is there where like in here, if I were just to bring the stack so that anybody could come grab some to put up where like physically in the building, should I leave them?
Leave them with me. I'll
Normal working hours.
yeah.
While we're doing outreach, do we want to do
Yes,
this?
we do. That's next on the list.
Okay.
I don't know how we're gonna get through this.
I know.
Well, do you want to just vote on
We
the,
wanted to do, Rory was thinking,
We do 2 to 3 of our favorites and then we will,
Yeah.
and then we it gets. you know,
I have some,
We each take a stack, pull
Let's
out a
pick
few that
yours,
we
good.
like.
Okay.
I have a few that
Okay.
Hand it where applicable.
and here's a whole stack. Grab-
where am I? I got 2 there.
Okay. All right, so that's good. Josh, you wanna take a look? I guess-
Sure.
Okay.
And I've been looking,
Are we just looking for names or?
We're looking for mostly names. What's the best name, you know?
Right.
for the-
Drawing sucks, but I like the name.
Yeah.
I was trying to go for like words that weren't male or female.
Mhm.
Like one of the ones I thought was just
Mm.
cute was puddles.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
good.
one. I love that one.
Puddles
Puddles?
stuff. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It was
Did
one
you,
of-
is that in the
It's just
file?
it's one of the ones I picked. It was. I know.
Some milk, everyone.
Milk is, yeah. There was Buddy, Puddles I liked, and I forget what the other one that was like. You know, there's one that said Westy, but then I was afraid that was too Western, you know.
Yeah.
Like
And Ducky,
Westerly.
of course, because he did a
Yeah.
nice job calling it. Buddy, Ducky, and Puddles I liked.
Yeah. And I-
A lot of
Tree,
rainbows.
with the tree, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Couple
That's
of ogres,
Ducky.
Yeah, I have Wild Star, Nah,
yeah.
and
Wow.
Evo.
Devo, I thought was interesting. There was one in there about a toilet duck or something. I thought that thing's got issued, but no.
No, that's probably not in the sparkle. I don't know.
Okay, speak of, what is that?
With that,
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
yeah.
It's unfortunate how many times I've had to explain it to people and I don't even know. The whole point is that it is nothing.
It is
It is
nothing.
nothing, it is brain rot.
Okay.
So it's just like internet words that have no meaning and they just get said.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll have kids in like my classes that like I'll ask them a question about like a spider crab and their answer will be like skibbity or Riz, skibbity toilet. It makes them, it's an unfortunate, yeah. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, there you go.
It's skibbity toilet Riz.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Like, yeah, that's not good.
Oh, Duckington.
Duckington.
I like, yeah, that,
Duckington.
well, if you like one, stick it in the middle.
That's where they're going, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There's many, many rainbows.
I
Yes.
a lot of
A lot
rainbows.
of
I
rainbows.
thought Pinky was kind of cute too. LeBron was clever though. They get the colors of the other night was like.
Right.
I'm just Chris.
I like that. Larry was another one, I like Larry the duck.
Yes.
Bryson,
That's,
Bryson the duck.
that's, Apropos for Larry, our helper.
That's
Yes,
right.
that's right.
I know, is that funny?
You have a favorite, Josh? Did you put one in? there?
I did not. There wasn't any of that,
Got you as
Hates
being,
all of them. Thinks they're all terrible.
there were a few that were, colorful enough.
do we have a
Yeah.
decent pile of ones that we like?
Yeah.
I think best.
Okay. So Rory, why don't you read through
Here, read
the,
them off.
okay,
How are we gonna tally these up? Our vote?
and then
The remote one.
Why don't we can also just go through it if there's any that people like actively dislike, we can just remove. those
Right,
and then
okay.
vote on the ones that nobody dislikes.
We've got Rose, Taylor Swift,
Okay, so Taylor
Albuquerque.
Swift.
I'm gonna
I
say no
think
to
we can-
Albuquerque, we're not New Mexico.
Okay, so I would remove Taylor Swift and Albuquerque.
All right.
and I would have removed
Leave
Rose
Rose, okay,
too, because
okay.
You
I
want
don't
something that's non-gender
gender
specific?
Duckington,
I like
I
that.
did too.
Okay,
Foxy and
no.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Eh,
All right, this, all right, Dolly.
Yeah.
Wildstar.
no.
It's really nice.
Maybe something that's sort of well, I guess it doesn't have to be environmental, but
Yeah,
it's
Mac
maybe.
and
Oh, I
ACK.
forgot you were there. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, what to do with Lucky, because Lucky Duck is kind of cute.
Lucky Duck.
Lucky that. Yeah.
That's actually, yeah, okay, we'll keep it for now. We're gonna vote on them.
Vivo.
You know,
I don't know what.
I don't
No, I
know.
guess it's like,
Sparkle.
The colors,
Vivo are nice, nicely.
Yeah.
using the colors.
Yeah.
right?
yeah, it's true.
Was to get them to think about ochre.
I like
That.
ochre,
You like ochre,
yeah,
okay?
because it's Coventry-ish. Twinkles.
I'm sorry, Gary's not gonna make the cut.
Oh.
Buddy?
Tell that I tried one.
I like Buddy.
I like Buddy, that was one of mine too. Puddles.
I love
I like
I
Puddles.
love puddles, yep. Ducky,
That's kind of.
Felix Fortel, I don't even know.
No.
Not a person, I
I
put
don't
that one
know.
in there because I wanted to see
I
if
know.
that was like a
If you take a
reference.
photo, just don't get the kid's name, just in case.
Oh, yeah,
it's
no, I just
yeah,
want
okay.
pictures of the names.
Charlie the duck.
Can't,
No.
can't be.
no, no sex.
Coventry, Tree. It's kind of
It's
how
not
they.
a-
it
it's
doesn't
not a
really
tree.
count.
It's
Yeah.
not a tree.
Okay, so then we're down to 6 candidates, okay. So our 6 remaining are Ducky, Puddles, Buddy, Ochre, Lucky, and Duckington.
I think I like Duckington more than Ducky.
Yes, I
So
do
we
Yeah.
too.
can take
Mhm.
Ducky
Okay.
out.
Okay,
Ducky out.
okay.
I feel like Buddy is just.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind
no,
of common.
kinda just, eh.
It's more like a
It's like
dog.
the absence of a name
Yep.
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
So what are the ones left?
Ochre, Duckington, Lucky, and Puddles.
Do we want to have a go through and,
I like Puddles too, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, how many people would vote for Puddles?
I'm in between.
We got 2, 3 out of 5 for
Five.
Puddles.
I don't. Like ochre. Okay.
I was
agree.
going to vote for Duckington, but
Duckington.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Duckington?
Wait, does anybody really like ochre? I feel like.
Lynn does.
It's, I just thought it was good because it's Coventry related, it's from the school.
Sure.
And it's the kind of a mascot of the school, but maybe that's too specific because we don't want to give favoritism to any school.
Well,
yeah,
and Oak is really on the high school, it's not even on the elementary.
Okay,
school.
so let's get rid of ochre.
Yeah,
Duckington, Lucky, and
Puddles.
Puddles.
we can put a harder number on.
Can we have
well, I would go for Puddles too, I guess.
So we got a convict. to Puddles.
Yeah, I
convert to
mean,
Puddles?
I'm okay with Puddles.
You okay with Puddles?
Yeah, it's easier to
Unless we
say
do a
than
combo.
Duckington.
I'm sorry,
It's
Let's do
easier
first
to
line.
say.
it is
than
easier to
Duckington,
say than
Puddles?
Duckington.
Puddles, Duckington. I think
Puddles,
Duckington.
Duckington, or
And if we're gonna
It's,
make,
it is more of a last name.
Right?
Yeah,
Ducky did his.
That's Josh's contribution, that Duckington is
More
more of
last
a last
name.
name.
Yep.
But we could do first name, last.
All right, Lucky and Puddles.
Puddles.
Puddles,
Puddles.
Puddles.
I vote Puddles Duckington, I think first last. Why not? Give it to a couple kids.
No, Puddles.
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 It is, okay.
Puddles it is.
We're gonna
Yeah.
say. All, because Joe's gonna see if we can't get them into the library, so I'll take them back, that's all right.
There you go.
So motion to accept the name of Puddles
Scott.
as our mascot.
The duck. Very sweet.
Motion,
I make a motion that we accept Puddles as our mascot's
so
name.
motion by Linda, can I have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, so Puddles it is.
Puddles the duck it is.
And Mom. We found, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We determined that she can contribute but not vote, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's,
Okay.
yeah, you,
Yeah.
if you're there being phone, you can contribute, but you can't actively vote, not that I think that's gonna get it matter, but that's just how it is.
All
If you have
right,
any, I mean, it doesn't matter at this point, it doesn't. It's just minutes, because we already.
right, yeah. What's anything else that we have to vote on? Like,
I like-
if we have a other thing that we have to vote on where we can't reach a
Right.
quorum, I guess her vote can't count.
Right.
Okay.
So it's-
I have already discussed this, but it seems that someone is actively present, like live and participating in the conversation, they should be able to vote. I don't care for tonight, I'm just saying if there were a problem, it's one thing to, to be
There,
not
it-
present.
Justine, it's a violation of the open meetings law.
and there's a
That's-
procedure,
There
right?
is a procedure around it, you can get a waiver for it, but that it relates to having a disability or some other reason why you couldn't attend otherwise, and it's really related to a disability or a health impairment. I checked it before we sat down with the attorney from the governor's commission, just to make sure it's accurate.
Right. No problem. Hopefully it won't be a problem that I'm not there.
I know, actually, just as an aside, we're trying to get that waived as that it impedes public participation if you can't,
Mhm.
especially if you're trying to testify at the State House and can't get there. You know.
Yep.
All right, so are there any other topics to discuss under outreach and volunteer efforts?
Just so, what I figured I'd do, I would just donate a $50 gift card to the winner of Puddles, of who named the mascot, and we'll just do something, what do you think, Walmart?
$50?
Yeah.
The kid need $50.
We wanna make a statement about the land trust and. we can say-
Bubblegum's expensive.
Yeah, well, seriously,
True, I mean,
everything's
to
expensive,
the. Just the kid or to like the classroom or something?
just the kid, because not all kids participated.
I don't know, it's just a lot of.
It is, but I want it to be meaningful too, that there's appreciation to the land trust as well, but I think was thinking Walmart is probably and we can say it's a private donation, we don't have to say it came from the land trust. Just so they don't think we're just, like, we have $50 to throw around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like,
Okay,
do we
Do you think land,
have the money to?
we do, but I don't want it, because this was something I wanted to do for the land trust, so that's why I'd rather keep it like that and just say that it was a donation.
well, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, meaning.
Oh,
it
Yeah,
Wouldn't come
it's-
out of our budget?
It would not,
No.
no, I don't want it
Oh.
to come out of our budget.
Oh, wow,
This is
okay.
good.
Thank you
What
for
do you think,
being
Walmart
generous.
is the best?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
Walmart's the
Walmart
best,
is
right?
pretty
that's what
much,
kids love.
it's
They can
got
always find-
everything and they
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right, good, all right.
Got the grocery store and the
Other Walmart,
clothes
Target,
and
Yeah.
toys and.
And the skibbity toilet Riz?
They, when I tell you, they literally sell a skivvy toilet at Walmart, I'm not kidding.
No, you think?
They literally sell, it is a small toy toilet that is called the skivvy toilet, I'm not kidding.
Mm.
Well, we're not
It's
getting that.
scary world.
I'm gonna put on the wall and you may
And
not.
not buy
This is valid for any purchase except.
Except, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
I did have a few things, with an outreach and volunteer.
Okay.
Should I I'm wondering if I should make, a separate flyer for like after the Earth Day event, if I should make one that's a little bit more like permanent, that has general land trust info, the QR code for the email list, and then to the trail maps. Along with the things that we're hopefully talking about next, or at some point, the like trail map things that we talked about. I just don't know if it's useful. If we wanna get more participation with like, or just engagement and knowledge, if we should have something up. It doesn't require people to like, especially if they don't work out, like have the trail maps, but maybe just like with the QR code up on the kiosks or something, it's just an idea, we don't have to, but. I should do that.
It sounds like a helpful thing to do, so that would be like just up in like the same places we're putting the flyers.
Exactly, yeah, I just think for whenever, you know,
Mhm.
we'll probably take down the Earth Day flyers once the event is passed, and we can just replace them with a more permanent
Okay.
one that's just general. Probably very similar stuff that's on the trail map triathlon things, but. It could just be up for people to just look at and scan that,
Okay.
and then grab it, I can do that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. That's,
And then. So we talked about, or I brought up last time, that was in the minutes about the RIP, like community service referral thing.
Mhm.
We didn't actually determine if we like for sure wanted to do that. Like, should I reach out or figure out how to get us on that list, or no?
Should we vote on that? Or do you
I'm
want
really
to
hesitate because I don't know.
Should we
Do we need a
table-
vote?
I mean,
Yeah,
there's no guarantee that we even, like, I don't even know what the process is.
Right.
right.
I mean, I could like, because Save the Day is on that list, there's probably somebody there that knows how it works that I could
Okay.
ask if it's
Perfect.
difficult.
Yeah, so why don't we make
Yeah,
the
if you want
decision
to-
next meeting and
Yeah, so if you
find
want to
out
look into
more.
the
You can bring back
process,
the
that would be
information.
great, and
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
back the information and, you know, how do we, like,
How do we
this
just
is
get
not the
on
right
list?
word for it, but filter people, or is that decision made for us, or that kind of
Yeah.
thing?
It's really just, well, I mean, I only know this because I got out of a speeding ticket, but. I was going 40 and a 35.
Sure you were.
No, it's really
I'm sure you
unfortunate,
did.
it's really unfortunate, and they were gonna charge me $65, anyway. So there's just like a site where you can just, if they say like, yeah, you can just do community service and. Like, get this passed,
Okay.
it's different as far, like, it's different from when people do like. Court-ordered community service.
Okay,
Okay,
Cause it was just like an option, like I
Oh,
could
okay.
choose to do community service instead.
okay,
But there's like a little page on the municipal court or whatever's like site where it's like, here are the places that you can go and that we have like options that we have accredited as places you can go and get this. It's not all of the options, like it doesn't say
Yeah.
that you can only go to one of these places, like as long as you go to a place that is like a community service and you get somebody to sign, it
Okay.
counts. But those are just like, it says on the website, here are places that for sure will take, you know, people to
Mhm.
do the community
Mhm.
service, but again, it's not the same as like going to court.
So that this would only work if we were having an event, because we wouldn't want, we would need to supervise any work that people were doing unless they were doing some sort of administrative work.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I can ask, like, it would more just be like if we. Like, I think the idea was like to kind of help maintain trails, it wouldn't necessarily, I think
Yeah.
ideally, it wouldn't have anything to do with an event. But I can ask if like this kind of thing would require direct supervision the whole time.
So that's the thing, our purposes, I think we would want.
Yeah,
yeah,
we wanna
I
know
think
that.
we would, yeah,
Stuff out on the trail,
That's fair.
right?
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I could envision it like, somebody could meet somebody who wanted to do community service at Whipple and pick up trash.
Right.
That would be something that I could envision, but I would be worried about them. Anybody going out without supervision, and say,
Well, they
even
said,
to trim
Right.
vines or something, because they may not be trimming the right thing.
well,
Um,
it's, I think in order to sign the paper, they have to have supervision.
Mhm.
In other words,
Exactly,
you have
yeah.
to say, we saw
Well,
them
yeah,
doing,
I
yeah.
don't know.
And the other thing too, having just gone to a meeting of another organization, one of their caveats is that somebody was trying to meet up with somebody to, anyway, and they said, don't go alone.
Mhm.
You know, if somebody's doing this for a court-ordered thing, you have to have a buddy with you
Mhm.
to supervise too.
Yeah.
So I
That
think
would be
there's,
two of us.
yeah, and I think like Save the Bay, there's staff people there.
So it's for cleanups, like you
Yeah.
can go and do a Save the Bay cleanup. Again, this is not the same as court ordered community service. This is,
Right.
like explicitly a different thing where it's not the people that are like on the side of the road picking up trash, like in Green Valley,
Right.
that's a
Mhm.
different thing. That is like determined by a court, usually for more serious things where it's like you have to do this specific thing.
Mhm.
Right,
This is just like a referral list on the website that's like, these are places that may be taking volunteers to do
Right.
these things. But with Save the Bay too, like, there aren't cleanups right now, like cleanups don't happen.
right,
Like at
we
this time
can
of the
do
year,
that, do
so
it, yeah,
like, you know, that's just on the list of people that may be, but again, it's still the person's responsibility, to like reach out and be like, hi, can I do this? So, yeah, I don't know, it's just a matter of like, if, that's why I'm asking, like, if it's something that we
Yeah.
I
actually wanna
think,
do.
yeah, I think if there's a way to sort of summarize it at the next meeting, like,
Sure.
you know, give us a demo or,
yeah.
you know, summarize the various points.
It would be
Definitely.
great if you could, if you knew somebody who used that and could tell us about their experience with it. I don't know if you know anybody, but like,
Like,
if
use
you,
the referral list?
yeah, you, in other words, if, no, it's the other side. Like somebody from Save the Bay who worked with
Oh, I
people.
see, I see,
Oh,
I see,
yeah.
I see, I see.
I have actually gotten an inquiry.
I remember you emailed about
that, yeah,
someone.
but the timing
It was all off.
didn't work out right, and you know, I was pretty sure we had to be on a specific list of
Mhm.
approved
Mhm.
places.
Okay,
So
so it seems like there might be interest anyway, because we
Mhm.
had an inquiry about it,
Mhm.
so. Yeah, let's continue the discussion about it,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'll-
Just need a little bit, you know, some more details and.
Other things I have, yeah, I guess were some of the things that I sent. Josh, should I assume, yeah. So. I did have some question, we talked about fundraising last time. Are there any updates on the whole bank account situation?
I have not heard back.
That's,
I
Maybe
will,
we
I
can-
will,
That's not a separate-
yeah, it's a separate thing.
yeah,
on
but
the,
it's, I'll ping that again.
And then. Yeah, so, first thing I guess is these are like drafts of a. Potential little trail map, trifold thing. These are single-sided printouts unfortunately, but, they. Would have this map that's on our website, like so on the back. These two are very marginally different, I just couldn't. Decide, but this is just, yeah, a draft, this is what I came up with, looking to see if people have any.
That's cool, very
Yeah,
nice,
this is great.
it's really nice.
The one thing, as I think the print is more readable in this color than in the darker color. Okay, so that's my only,
I like the green better too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also
brighter.
am now noticing, I think the text on the lighter green might also be bolded. Yeah, the text on the lighter green is bolded, so that also
Okay.
helps.
Mhm.
yep,
If you guys also like the brighter green more,
I
then
do,
that's a
yeah,
different
yeah,
thing, so you guys like the brighter green
Yeah.
color more, okay,
yeah,
good. Otherwise, any thoughts, concerns?
I think looks
Looks
great.
great.
Cool. So I will use this general layout for, the rest of them. I think that we said we want to do, Whipple as the first one. I just did Stillwell because there's like. Cool, things about it and articles that I can include, This kind of relates to another thing, which is like website related. I would love to not produce these until we have our updated website finished. Just because it would be nice, and even the flyers that I just mentioned about like with a QR code, it would be nice if the QR code could go to like a nice looking website and not to the Coventry Town page one. I don't know where we're at. with the
It's a ways
website.
off. It's a
Okay.
ways off.
Um,
It's one of those things that I have to do in my spare time.
yeah, and I mean,
But yeah,
have, like I have good chunks of time that I can contribute it. Like if there's any way that I can help with that, let me know. I'd
Okay,
be happy
yeah.
to.
Can we add those to the Facebook page as a permanent feature? What? The maps or the QR code
The QR code to,
into this instead of getting it on the website? Well, in addition to getting it on the website.
well, no, I was saying, so on here, I have, the link, the
Yep.
current link to the town hall's page.
Mhm.
And then a QR code to the page as well, and I'm just saying, I would like to have these produced. When the link and the QR code can instead go to Lynn's
The new
website,
page.
than the Coventry Land Trust one.
Should we put,
So-
or a link to the Facebook page?
Yes, I can include a link to the Facebook page on here. Right now, I have a QR code to the interest form. And then like this one just uniquely has the EcoRI piece on Stella Hall, and then a QR code to the webpage. Yeah, I can include a link or a QR code to the Facebook page. I can also put the Facebook page link in the interest form description, like when you go to fill it out, I can put it up there too.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I can do that. I just was also trying to be cautious of like I didn't wanna like overload
Right.
with links and QR codes and stuff. But yeah, I can, if we wanna include the Facebook link, I can do that as well.
I'm wondering, because I know you're working on the website, but what if Elsa, you said you had chunks of time, right? So what if Elsa took over and started to create what she envisions on the website, and then you can coordinate your,
Okay,
and that would take something off your plate.
yep.
with that.
Great. I'm using Experience Builder, which is an ASRI product
Interesting, okay.
that's inside ArcGIS Online.
To make the
To
website?
make the website, yeah. That's how,
Interesting.
because I wanted to have the ability to do the interactive mapping and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
and you can make pages that are not at all related to maps. through
yes, you
Zoom.
can.
Interesting,
There's
okay. Is
tons
it a
of stuff
paid
you can
service,
do.
I assume, though?
It is the town. That's the thing too, right? Is that the town pays for the ArcGIS Online member license. So historically, they haven't used it. And so this is sort of my selfishness in wanting to make sure that the town continues to pay for the ESRI site license here. So by using Experience Builder, we can always say, if they say, well, we're not going to pay for it anymore, that we can say, but we're using this.
Yeah,
We're
right.
using it for our trail mapping, for our interactive maps, and for our website.
Lovely, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to,
So
get familiar with it. Is it I mean, I assume it's ESRI is usually pretty user.
so one of the things we'll have to look into is there's a limit, I think, of how many login users, this, because we have like the subscription for the site license that we have, I think has 2 user licenses. I have one now and Josh has the other. So
Lynn, is there any reason else that couldn't just use your credentials?
yeah,
and use it for anything else?
that's probably what we'll do. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, and I'm offering in terms of like, if it would actually be helpful, like, I don't wanna,
Yeah,
if this is a project that you are enjoying doing or that
yeah.
you want to do, like.
Well, maybe I
still
mean,
feel
there's
separate
like,
issues.
we could divide it up so that you could work on a specific
Yeah,
part of the page, like you remember that when I had it up,
Mhm.
it had, the trail maps is one thing, and then I wanted to do sort of a history of the different properties on another, so
Yeah. we
there's
can totally talk about-
any number of different pages you could work on individually.
Perfect, okay,
to
yeah,
get it up.
I'd be happy to do
Yeah,
that,
okay.
cause yeah, I'd love to. But I mean, that's just me, like, if you guys would like for me to produce the flyers in these trifolds before we have a finished website and just have the links be to the current website or to the Facebook or both, like, that is totally fine. I think also we were gonna do a trial run with them anyway, so if for now we wanna do the trial run just with the link to the current website, and then, you know, whenever we do get the
Yeah.
website finished, I can make a different copy. Is that better plan than waiting completely?
I think it probably is, just because it's getting the website up it's not, it's a long
Yeah.
way away. I'm good. I haven't honestly spent a huge amount of time on it because it hasn't been a super priority. But now that we actually have stuff to really go on it, that will push things along. So that's great.
And then we wanted it linked to the Facebook. And then I assume we wanted to keep having a link to the current website. Is there anything else that isn't on this? I mean, obviously, just imagine this picture of the Stella home map that's on the website is on the back of
Looks
this.
great.
So
Yeah,
anything-
yeah.
It doesn't, they know what it looks
Yeah.
like, yeah, the important thing is the side. Yeah, is there anything that we want added or changed? I mean, the other thing, which I know we're talking about later, is I do wanna not make these until we have our updated logo.
Right, right.
So I'd
Yeah,
love to have
yeah,
that up
yeah.
there.
We will proceed with
Yeah.
voting on that, I think, I hope.
But otherwise,
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Thank you very
Great.
much. It's great effort.
I think it's great, yeah. It's very attractive too. which is
yeah, I'd love
important.
to,
Clean looking.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think you know, with the color scheme and stuff that I used to do the Earth Day posts, I think is a nice one for general use, and I would love to, especially if I can get more access to the social media and stuff, I think it's nice. But have like cohesive fonts and colors and things like that, so it just helps like actually create an image.
Yeah. kind of your brand,
Exactly,
right?
so I'd
Yeah.
love to, I think that's the idea, I'd love to keep it in this general theme, which is again, yeah, why the having a logo is so good, because I think. The logos we were talking about, as far as I remember last time, was, you know, in a color scheme, it was very similar.
Really
to
are.
Saturdays, so.
Yep. Well, and I can. We can trade colors and stuff, text codes and whatnot, once we decide on one, so that we know we're being consistent.
Otherwise, for this one. Or for outreach stuff, as far as the Earth Day thing goes, yeah, the next thing is another printout. This isn't like. This is just the spreadsheet that I put together. So my mom and I went out, we walked. The whole kind of Bowden area. And I just made little marks on all trails wherever there was something in need of work. And then kind of tried to write down as I went, like generally what it is and also what I thought this kind of skill or strength level would be needed for it. So that's what this is. The idea is green is like you can just be a child and do it. Yellow is like, you know, smaller clippers, maybe a little bit of like gloves and a little stronger hands, but still can be done with kids theoretically. And then red is things that would either require like a larger handsaw, larger clippers, or a chainsaw. And then, yeah, then there's just the latitude and longitude points that I did. Again, I don't have Wi-Fi. So I can't.
That's great. This is a wonderful list.
But I did make a little map thing on the little free ArcGIS online thing, just of where these are. So that, then like, Lynn, I don't know if we would wanna make something that is a map specifically for the day where we can
Yep.
have these points or whatever points we decide are
Mhm.
most important,
Mhm.
like actually on a map for people to look at.
Yeah,
That's on our map, it's on the All Trails map.
We can.
yeah, that'll be under item, GIS mapping, I guess, at the end of that. Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, so these are the points that we came up with, some of them. I tried to hopefully include in the description of them, like the level of need, just based on what it is, like some of them are. There's a couple things that are like maybe future issues, like things that could eventually fall onto the trail if they're like dead trees. And then there's some things obviously that are like debris kind of areas that are easy to slip on, lots of like wood chip type things. And then the other thing with this is also, some areas there are logs and branches over the trail that are very clearly not supposed to be there, but they're also, my mom and I were wondering, like, there are a few places where there are logs that almost look like they were cut before and that are like very straight across the trail. We weren't sure if those are supposed to be there to deter ATV stuff or if those should
That's
be
probably, that's probably the case.
Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah, there's some of those, and I don't think, like I, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you remember this, Mom, if I don't, but I think I didn't mark when they were like very clearly. Like put there intentionally, but. Yeah, like some of the ones that I put in here, like, should have put row numbers, my bad, but one of them is like log over trail can be stepped over. Like that was one of those situations where it's like unclear if it was there intentionally or not. So
okay.
yeah, like we can just look through this list, or people can look through this list, if there's any on here that seem more important than others, or if I can send, I should have just taken a screenshot of the map, that's my bad.
That's okay. Well, I think having a map at the event would be really helpful. Sadly, as you know, I can't be there, so I'm not sure actually who's gonna be taking charge. I think Jenna's gonna be at the event.
Yeah.
So, but, and then Linda, I think you were gonna man.
I'm gonna man, so,
and-
yeah, so I'm gonna man the event. I'll be there to greet people,
Mhm.
because some of the places along the trail are challenging for me.
Yep.
But, so are we gonna have, like when Glenn was here, we had a little kiosk that belonged to Glenn.
Yeah, we're not
Um,
gonna have access to that kind of thing anymore.
Are we gonna have a folding table and chairs?
We have a bunch at our house that we can just bring.
Okay, so we'll have folding table and chairs. Okay, and you have,
I have to work in that particular day, yeah.
you have to work on that particular day? Okay,
So it's gonna be, we're gonna be shorthanded that day.
we're gonna be shorthanded.
Yeah,
So it's
And
gonna
then again,
be,
like, shorthanded, we still may be more of us than there are people that.
Maybe,
so
yeah.
Hopefully not,
And
but
maybe
Right.
just.
I mean, Mom, we're both, you're free, right?
Yeah, and I thought we were gonna make that good.
Yeah, we are gonna make Chad come.
Yeah, he's gotta go.
Yeah, he's gonna use a chainsaw. He's gonna wanna use a chainsaw.
will he be allowed to use his chainsaw?
Jenna said we can, but we don't want members of the public to, and he's an extension of us, and he hurts himself, it's because he's stupid. Yeah, he'll sign a waiver.
We'll sign a waiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Josh, do we still have waivers?
We still have the waiver form, yeah.
Okay. So.
So
I mean, there are a couple places, like,
Somebody's gonna have to be responsible for making sure that anybody who's there from the public signs a waiver.
okay,
So
so
that's
I
gonna
will
be
have a
meaning
stack of waivers.
Pick up the waivers, so Josh can print waivers,
Mhm.
and then
So I have to pick
Linda,
up
you
waivers.
can pick them up. And then if Elsa and Justine can bring the maps to hand out, and then you'll have the maps as well.
Maps, yeah,
And then, I mean, I'm gonna totally leave it up to you guys how you wanna run it. I mean, I can suggest that perhaps when somebody comes, you just go through this, and based on what they're equipped with and how old they are, that you send them to one of these places if they are on the map.
I don't have the map in front of me right now either, I should explode it, that not so well marked area, like you do the left fork, which is very clear, and there's a few trees down, but as you were saying, you can step over them pretty easily, so there's not a lot that needs to be done on the main trail there. It's when you take the right, it goes into the woods, and then there's those trees that are actually quite difficult to step over. To me, that's probably the area that needs the most chainsaw work.
Yeah.
And then it was a little bit difficult to navigate,
Yeah, I marked.
they're not super well marked, and, there were areas that were fairly wet, and so the two things that I was thinking, well, two things were, one, I didn't know if it would make sense if we, you know, a couple of us, I'm happy to go, also maybe you and I can go and kind of remark some of the trees with the appropriate colors, just to make sure that people can actually find their way through that section of the woods. And then there was a couple of places where, it was quite muddy, but there was a fairly obvious way to create a detour around the mud. And so that would be, if we do get a group of high school students or something with small clippers and so forth, that would be a really good project for them, because it really is just getting rid of like the little clipper bushes.
Yeah, those are
Right.
the second page. I'm sorry, they're, I had it as a horizontal thing, so it's really small, but, on the second page, I separated some of the markings that I made that were not related to the Earth Day thing, so they were just marks about where boardwalks might be needed, but also there's a few of them that are like trail change ideas, so places
Yeah.
that, so,
I
and I
wonder if
didn't
they-
have any way to measure, so, like, we can go back and actually measure, I was using the number of.
But we're not doing boardwalks.
No, but I'm just saying,
Right.
cause the second sheet has boardwalk, like it's all together, but other than boardwalks and stuff on there, there also is stuff that says. Like trail marking needed or a trail change idea, so there were a few places that.
Okay.
marked them, and there's a couple places that I also took pictures of, I just have to figure out exactly which pictures are first, but.
I'm almost wondering if we should have some maps that maybe have a specific area where if when people show up and we say, hey, you're a group of high school students, here's a map that's gonna take you to this area where we need a detour created. You know, that just specifically gives them one place to go and a specific assignment.
Unfortunately, we're gonna be low on manpower, but ideally, there would be one of us with each group that went out.
Agree. And I honestly don't know that we, at this point, wanna think about trying to get detours. I'm a little,
Well,
I
detours-
think for this event specifically, maybe not, I think especially because
Yeah.
that would certainly require one of us to be with the
Right.
group.
Yeah,
Maybe for
Yeah.
this one, we focus on the existing trails and then we can.
I mean, I think as a group, we should go out together definitely and figure that out. We definitely need to have a detour around this, but I don't know that we want to have that as part of the Earth Day thing right now.
so
Because-
I'm just not sure there's enough to do unless we include stuff like that.
Well, Mom, we have 0 signups right now, so I'm not super concerned about that.
well, you know, if you and Elsa can each take a separate group and your husband can kind of go off on his own, we can trust him to do that. If the detour is very visible and within sight of the path. In other words, if you're only going a little ways, I would be,
A little diversion around a mud puddle.
I think that would be fine.
There's already, like, a few of the places that were already like,
Like
Yeah.
what are they
people are
called?
very,
Desire trails.
yes.
You know what I mean, where like
Mm.
people have done it enough that it.
Right.
already
It's
becomes
already-
a thing,
yeah.
but
So I
I
think
think for.
as long as somebody's with them and it's not like really going off bushwhacking, but only something, I think we could do diversionary paths, you know, around certain
Well, and
obstacles like a
hopefully
mud puddle.
hopefully it's just a matter of clipping some shrubs
Yes.
back and
Yep.
maybe moving some large logs, but not having to actually saw anything.
But I think ideally, like, I mean, in the past, like when we did Sullivan, we had a bunch of little
Yeah.
kids, like, 8-year-olds. So, I don't know that Ledge Road is gonna attract that kind of population. But if we can ideally have at least, wait until somebody comes back and kind of rotate through that day so that you go out with a group, you do something, you come back to see if there's another group you can take out. Because it sounds like it might be you and Elsa, hopefully Shay will come, and hopefully Jenna. So if we have 4 of us out on the trail, and I'm at the entrance of the trail, I think we can manage that and keep people with one of us.
Yeah.
In the interest of, I'm sorry, we have so much more to get through, and it's
Right.
already 7, almost 8 o'clock.
So, just
So I
for
just-
my own knowledge,
yeah.
so I'll just, so we just want me to put together a map of all of, like, that includes all of these, like, what I have right now is like, I just used this spreadsheet to put it into ArcGIS and
Yeah,
have them all
yep.
there. Is that what we want, or are there specific ones on here that I should include or not include? Like, should I only do
I would.
yellow and greens,
um,
or?
Yeah, my opinion would be to only do yellows and greens. Don't, I mean, if you want to make a separate one for your dad
Yeah.
to do the red ones, I think that's fine. But for the public at large, I would just do reds, I mean, yellows and greens. At least that's
And then
my
should
opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
have it be? Like, should I just make it so that the trail map that we already have for Bowden, like, I just add the points onto that? Or like, I'm not sure how I would, like, I could,
Well, why
Right.
don't we talk offline about that? I can probably send you the data file,
okay,
and then, or there's ways we can
Okay,
get that.
That's not a thing.
right.
Yeah.
And just a couple other points for that day. In the past, Rory, you had some wonderful things you brought with you to our
I'm
events.
gonna give those to, give those to you, yeah.
like
You can have
tools.
No, I have like these laminated things, like different scat, so. kids
Oh,
always
right.
like that stuff.
So can you drop it off
Yep,
here?
absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
and I'll
Okay,
pick that
good.
up. And then also the other thing that we've had in the past, and I don't think it's necessary, but we have had a porta potty.
Yeah, Jenna's saying yes about that too.
we're
Okay,
not gonna be able to do that this year.
Yeah, I
It's
don't-
just not gonna happen.
it's not gonna
Right.
happen.
I mean, Glenn was always the one who'd organized that, and he's gone. We don't have a lot of money left.
He had
So-
a resource, he knew someone
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
porta potty business, so.
Okay,
We
all right,
trucked it out
so
there and
no porta
no
potty.
porta potty. People are gonna have to hold it.
But there are large trees.
Yes.
Yes.
Spots out for poison ivy,
Yep.
ticks, we just can't do it this year.
Okay,
We'll have to try and figure out what we're gonna do in the future, but because we're gonna be so low staffed on this event, and we were really interrupted in all of our planning by November and December, when we sort of lost people, and then we had to wait to get people on board. So I
mhm,
feel like we're really rushed on this one.
mhm.
Hopefully we'll be able to be more prepared for future events, but
Mhm.
yeah, the porta potty just can't happen.
Okay,
Yeah, that's Jenna's next thing is kind of related to that. She just wants us to review open meeting laws when we're emailing.
yes,
I'm not sure what that really looks like. I think it, like, at least in my view for the last 2 weeks, I didn't really feel like we had an option but to be emailing about this stuff, just because we are so rushed. But yeah, I don't know exactly what she is
yeah,
looking for there.
So on that, it was, there was a lot of emailing back and forth. And if the general rule is, if it's going to be talked about at the next meeting, it should be talked about then. There are some small things like the flyer. There was no business there. It was, hey, here's the flyer. Great. And that was it.
Right.
But you know, to be talking about an event that we're going to be talking about at the next meeting anyway, that's when it starts to get a little bit
Mhm.
questionable. Because because you're offline talking about things that that you are going to be talking about online.
In the meeting.
Yeah,
Voting.
yeah. So it
Okay.
it kind of gets a little muddy there.
Slightly.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to, and this is, again, I don't really know how any of this works, so this might just be a hard no, but I think when we were first talking about the website, I like mentioned the idea of some sort of open discussion page, just because. Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that we're doing, like not being able to really talk about it at all in between meetings, is maybe gonna even prevent us from doing a lot of stuff, so if there is any sort of way to, like, have it. Like an open
Yeah, I don't think,
discussion page of some sort
That
will
would be
have
very tricky.
tricky or impossible.
marginally get us in trouble or big trouble, maybe.
Impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah.
We're just not allowed to have discussions amongst ourselves about things without actually being in a quorum in person.
Yeah.
Just can't do it.
Yeah.
And it does, it totally sets us back. There's no question about it. But that's what we're dealing with.
One more thing for Earth Day.
Yep.
In the past, we've had like bottles of water and snacks. Do you
Mm.
want me to pick up stuff like that, or are we going to pass
If
on?
you
that?
are willing to, that would be
Okay.
fabulous.
Okay.
But if you run out of time. And again, this would be kind of this thing where you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart,
Mhm.
because we won't be able to reimburse you.
Right.
So I don't feel like we can really, again,
Okay.
if you wish.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so, yeah, I was hoping I was gonna be able to get this done by 8:30 tonight, so I'm really gonna,
Let's go.
I'm really gonna
We
crank
can do it, we can do it,
through
we can do it,
everything
yeah.
here as
That'll
much
be-
as I can.
Let's do it.
So we're on, okay. But I want to make sure that everybody's covered with outreach and volunteer. Did everybody get done what they wanted to get done?
Mhm.
Rory?
Yep.
You all set? Okay. Okay, so Coventry Land Trust website page updates content. I think we've kind of discussed that already.
Mhm.
I already spoke with Josh and directed him towards the place on the directory where we need to change our liaison from John Studley to Josh. And then I also had a question about it, because I just don't know her, Shay is listed as Morris Shenoa on the website, and I don't know if if she should be Shenoa. I know
I know
her
she sent
name.
an email. I can go and
Okay.
check the email.
So if we could get that fixed up on
Yep.
the directory portion of the website, that would be great. And again, I will make every attempt to boost my efforts on getting the website for us up and running, and discuss with you Elsa about logging on and getting access to it.
How do we do that though, if we're not allowed to talk? Or is that something? that we can
We can, I think we can work on the website.
We've already
Yes.
voted on
We
that.
just,
We're looking at the
we will
website.
just bring drafts to the meetings,
Right.
right?
But as
Yeah.
far as like talking to.
You can
or
have
if
a
they, like,
work
You
session,
can have a work
right?
session, yeah.
Yeah.
You can, yeah. So I mean, the easiest way is to send stuff to me, because I'm allowed to be the in between you two.
Intermediary.
Yeah. It has to go through me.
Okay,
It's just
okay.
the way it works.
And Josh will tell us if we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Say you can't do that right now, stop,
Yep.
cease and desist.
You should
Yeah.
be able to work on the
And then
website,
we'll
because
have-
we've already voted on.
Yeah, just about like figuring, because we
Right.
said we need to talk about like what, like I
Right.
need to get the info, we need to talk about like what pages each of
Yeah.
us would maybe work on, and that can't.
yeah,
necessarily-
because I know that there's something, and I can't remember what, that I worked with one other person on at one
Right.
point to hammer something out. and-
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll get that part of it figured out.
Yes.
Okay. All right, calendar dates, anything else under the website? So let's
No.
move on to 4.4, important calendar dates. I think we've
Yep.
beaten April 26th, 10 to 2,
Mhm.
not 10 to 4.
And when are we getting there? We're getting
uh,
there at 9, right?
Yeah, I would think you guys would want to get there at 9 to set the table up and arrange the
Right.
flyers and so forth. I mean, I'm really sorry that I can't be there. I've had tickets to this play for
Going to
a
Riverdale?
year.
Well,
Uh,
Sounds pretty important.
No, it's the P-PAC, Some Like It Hot.
Very
So
cool.
I've had tickets for a
Yeah,
year.
that's
so,
fine.
That's very
Anyway.
good.
You have a,
It's very good.
that's good.
Okay, so next important calendar dates are, the one thing about Earth Day, I'm sorry, the one thing we didn't discuss about Earth Day is were the letters sent to the neighbors on Ledge
Yes.
Road. Well, those,
That's a you question.
we were gonna send letters out to the neighbors on Ledge Road to inform them that there may be a lot of cars going up and down the road.
I will do that tomorrow.
Okay,
You have I sent you the letter
Okay,
from last time. We had like talked about the draft that I wrote of the letter we'd send.
okay,
Do you want me to resend it?
that would be lovely.
okay. So we gotta get those, get those out to the neighbors. The other important calendar date that I have is April 29th. We are meeting here at 6:30 to discuss the strategic plan. May 3rd is the Land Trust Symposium been put on by the Rhode Island Land Trust Council. Symposium's being held at Warwick City Hall for all land trusts. You need to register. So if you want to go to that,
I'll
I
be
think it's a
in-
half day.
I'll be in Ohio.
You'll be in Ohio, okay? But anybody who wants to attend, I'm gonna attend. I think Jenny's gonna attend, I'm not sure.
We
But
said, sorry, just the
Mhm.
strategic plan is 6:30, right?
6:30, yep,
Right. And
6:30 here,
Yep.
yep. April 29th.
Okay.
I have not made the agenda for that yet, so if you
Okay.
want to change the time or, I mean,
I do not.
6:30,
6:30 works for
fine,
me.
but I'm just,
Does it work for you, Rory?
Yep, I already have my calendar.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just-
okay. June 16th is the Rhode Island Land Trust Council Annual Meeting. I'm actually not certain if Land Trust members are invited to that or if that's just for council members. So, but it's something to put on your calendar just as a say, am I gonna attend this maybe type thing? Okay. Does anybody else have anything on important calendar dates?
We haven't picked out a land trust day yet, right?
No, we
Usually
haven't. We probably
September,
should.
October.
Okay. All right, let's grab our calendars. We usually have it in October, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think we've had it September and then we moved it to October, seemed better even.
Okay. Because September is tough because everybody's getting in school
School,
and,
yeah.
All right.
you know, doing their fall last minute things before the holidays start in November, so we should do October.
So, October 4th or 11th, we usually try to do it in the beginning, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm free both days.
I would avoid Columbus Day weekend, I assume.
Okay.
Which one is that?
Is the 11th, so it would be the 4th, then go back to the 4th.
Okay, so let's October 4th. I would like to make this sort of a temporary so that we can check with Jenna
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that that's okay with her. So tentatively October 4th for Land Trust Day. And do we, what place do we want to have it at?
Is it?
The Land Trust Day is a day that all the land trusts around the whole state participate in. Usually it's a hike at one of our land trust properties, where we invite people from all over to come and walk with us on one of our properties. We've done Whipple,
Still. oh,
last year we've done Stella Hall, we've done Sullivan,
do we do
and we tried to do
Odin?
Bowden last year and it did not work out. So and those are really the only 4 places that we have that have a good trail system to hike on. So I would almost,
I would just go back to one of the 3 that are accessible to them. Yeah,
right, so
I like Whipple.
you like Whipple?
Well.
Or would you rather do Stella Hall again? Cause now we would come full circle where we did Stella Hall, then we did,
Oh, okay.
so we just did Whipple last
Yeah.
year. I mean, and it's fine to do them 2 in a row, but
Yeah.
well, we did Whipple, didn't we do Sullivan last year?
no, we did Whipple
Whipple.
because we were the first,
Oh, that's right.
ours was
we
the
did-
first in
we
concert
did,
with the Land
right,
Trust
okay.
Council.
So, yeah,
We had
so
a big,
let's
huge
do-
crowd
Yeah.
of people.
Okay, so let's do Stella Hall.
Is that okay?
Yep.
All
yeah, that
right,
makes sense.
so,
Maybe we could get Mr. Christie to come.
oh yeah, and
you
he
know,
could point out all
Yeah,
the
the
fly
cool
stuff.
and
Yeah,
the
okay.
Mushroom lady, you know.
So
Okay.
Stella Hall,
Okay.
So, and we're not gonna vote on that because it's just tentative.
it's tentative, so we
Okay.
can check with Jenna. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna move right quickly on to 4.5 unless there's further discussion of calendar dates.
Nope.
So 4.5 potential properties of interest. Even if we do have any, I'd suggest we just jot them down right now and then potentially talk about them at another time.
So I,
The long, property that they want didn't show up.
We have heard absolutely 0 from her,
Right, it's not the-
Ms. Cotter.
She didn't show up.
She did not show up. I was actually gonna talk about that under the 5.4 on the agenda. So,
so I have 2 properties, under new business.
Mhm.
We can,
Can we-
table them if you want.
Okay.
They are, 2 properties that are adjacent to properties that the land trust already owns.
okay,
And so I just, thought that if we wanted to grow
and reach out to
in
those.
that these particular properties are landlocked, they look undevelopable.
Mm, okay, but
And
we
That's
haven't
all.
actually gotten a proposal from
Right.
anybody.
Nope,
Okay.
It's more like these are ones we could
We
reach
should
out
target.
to.
yes,
Yep.
yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
terrific.
yeah,
Okay,
I was, looking around, I said, hey, look at these 2,
okay.
that's it.
Okay. that
Perfect.
sounds-
So, well, let's get back to those under new business and we will, when we get to that place.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
Okay. I know we discussed, so other potential properties of interest?
No.
Okay, 4.6 grant opportunities. I know
Okay.
Elsa, last time you had a huge list and I don't even know where to begin with
Yeah.
it. Okay,
Mhm.
so my
There's
idea
no-
for that,
There's no money, if you don't need money for anything right now, then you don't.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, it's a great list to have for the future and thank you for putting all that effort into it. For right now, I think we'll table the discussion. No, you have the Audubon Society. Okay,
So the Audubon Society, I did reach out to Laura Carbuncle, who is in charge of that grant, and she said it would be perfectly fine for us to apply for that grant repeatedly. So if we're not ready to do so this year, we might want to table that and do it next year, because it's like in order to do it, we have to come up with matching funds, which is
Mhm.
a big chunk of money, and
Yeah.
we're already struggling. And then also we have to have matching manpower hours, so we have to have people who are able to help build those walks along with those people.
Mhm.
And I don't know that we have that. So I don't, and we certainly don't have it. It would be difficult to get it, all our ducks lined up by the June 1st
Yep.
due
So
date
that's the deadline for it.
deadline.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
just my feeling, but if we really want to do that, we might want to go through. And part of it is, I was kind of hoping that Parks and Rec would be able to come to our meeting,
Mhm. And help us out.
because I'm keep wondering if Parks and Recs can build some of that stuff for us. You
Mhm.
know, could they build the boardwalks? So anyway, or else we could just corral the people at Whipple who
Yeah.
did so and say, would you do it at another property? I don't know,
Mhm.
but,
Okay, well, thank you for reaching out to the person.
okay,
I agree with you in that I think we're too late this year. Again, we've had this delay in our proceedings, so it's been really tough to get any momentum going.
right.
Does anyone else feel strongly that we should try and pursue this for this year?
I mean, I think. I don't necessarily feel strongly, I think it would be really nice if we could get. The, like, boardwalks and stuff that we want done sooner rather than later. So ideally not applying for this grant now, like ideally this isn't the only. Like pathway with which we can get funding or what we need to do these, so that we don't necessarily have to wait until next summer to
Right.
do these.
Oh,
but-
yeah,
It's with people who went through the
Yeah.
exact process and
Oh,
get
good.
a timeline from them. That was one of the things I was going to do. I got the impression that with CEM permitting and then getting somebody to design the boardwalk and all of the stuff, there's so much that has to go in before we even need people to do labor,
right.
that I think it's highly unlikely that they pull it off.
Yeah,
through the
no,
summer.
it's
So
doing
I
the,
think we ought to be starting the process now with the idea
Next
that
year.
we would like to do it next summer.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
doing the bridges is absolutely not gonna happen this year. And the only other thing that we could come up with that would be helpful was the entrance at Sullivan. Yeah, the entrance off Brandable Bush at Sullivan, it needs to be graded and put timbers in or something to prevent erosion. So,
That needs an engineer too. So
yeah,
that's-
it does, so. Okay, so let's table, I'm hearing that everybody wants to table the Audubon Society application for this year.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we'll table that. Okay, 4.7, are there any research updates that we need to talk about?
Jenna
Jenna
had,
had a email about
had quite a-
mussels.
yeah, it says, I've inquired about freshwater mussel researchers / experts with the RI Natural History Survey. Freshwater mussels are an imperiled group of freshwater mollusks in many areas where they occur, including many freshwater streams. Few rare species are listed. Researchers.
The classic part of our problem in acquiring researchers is we don't have the funds to pay someone for their work.
Yep.
I feel like maybe we should table that discussion until Dennis here.
I agree, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I would be interested in tabling that discussion to be included in the strategic plan conversation. Because I feel like being a new member of the land trust, we have so many balls sort of halfway in the air, it seems that we've been talking about lots of different research and initiatives and things that we'd like to do. It seems like we really ought to come up with a set of priorities and in my mind, the main value that we bring is acquiring and protecting land. And while supporting research is, I think, important, it might be important for getting fundraising and being able to acquire land. I just feel like with our limited manpower, as we keep talking about, that in doing the things that we are absolutely responsible for needs to come before adding
I agree.
a lot of other things.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing, I think, if somebody comes to us and asks for permission to research.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's, I don't think we can be people who generate the research. So I agree.
Okay, so, I haven't really had a chance to read Jenna's email in detail, so I don't really know what was, discussed in it. So I think, we can table this till next time, when we can have Jenna here to discuss it further. Okay, and then, or we can discuss it at the strategic plan meeting,
Right.
as suggested by Justine. Okay, I'm going to suggest that we table any discussion of hunting on land trust property, 4.8. Anyone care about tabling that discussion for now? Okay. 4.9 fundraising membership opportunities. Josh, this I think was, we were going to have you look into how we could get a bank account and all that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I think I did ask, the finance department, and they said it's certainly possible.
okay,
I just have to go back and
Okay.
refresh my
Okay.
memory and
Okay. If we could figure out step 1, step 2, step 3 for how we can get that accomplished. So we can start taking donations from people,
Mhm.
that would be great.
Mhm.
So will you be able to report on that at the next meeting for us?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anything else about fundraising? Okay. Okay, strategic plan. As we've already talked about, that we have the meeting coming up. I wanted to bring your attention to something that we put together December 3rd, 2024. So this is an outline of what we've come up with so far at a previous strategic plan meeting where we came up with our values, the mission, and the goals. And so I just wanted for everybody to have a copy of this outline so that when we go to the strategic, when we attend the strategic planning meeting, that everyone has had a chance to review this and maybe pick out or write down 2 or 3 action items that you would like to see, and maybe figure out what action item goes with what goal. And if you wish to amend any of these goals or amend the mission statement or the values, please feel free just to do this. But I'd like to come prepared to the strategic planning meeting with some very specific things that we can, statements of actions that we're going to take to meet these goals. So that's your work for the next couple weeks.
Our
Homework, in addition to everything else that you have to do for Earth Day. Justine, did you get a copy? You don't have a copy of this? Elsa, will you be able to take a copy for her so that she has it available? Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have any other discussions about the strategic plan?
Well, can you also, is that something that you could email to everybody that isn't here, just so that those that aren't here also know to come to that meeting?
Yeah, I forgot about Shay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just like send this draft and then I'll.
Thank
And
you.
maybe in the email, remind Shay of the time and date of the meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, all of us.
Okay, so. Then moving on, logo redesign. I included. A new set with logos, looking at this page, main one, the top left was the one that everyone had sort of pinpointed as their favorite from the last set. I was asked to add some vegetation. I did my best with the top right. I really just don't think that I just don't have a way to incorporate vegetation onto that. So I moved on to trying to work something else with the others. So bottom left, the flower in the bottom left and the bottom right, actually the flower on all the others is a violet.
The state flower.
State flower, and also I believe our creature. So that's why I chose a violet. Because it's our creature, I believe, that
Yeah.
we have on Bowden.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a violet. And then I was not liking, so in the bottom right one, the blue top bar, I'm thinking sky, brown, land, dark blue bottom, water, but I don't know, I'm not happy with that particularly. So then I moved on to putting it back in the circle. And on the second side, you have the circle options that I came up with. So I don't know where you want to go from here. If one stands out that we can vote on tonight, or if you'd rather table this again so that we have more people here to decide on the final one. I'm happy to go either way. Or if you want me to work on it some more.
No.
I'm also, like,
I can
I,
work on it some more.
you might, I take a stab at it. This is just like my favorite type of stuff to do.
Sure.
And if there, I mean, unless there's one that people like love right now, I think I mean, this does feel like something that we should maybe cover everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd
do,
like that.
unfortunately.
All right.
I mean, if we wanna get these things, flyers, trail maps up before the next meeting. I can just have the duck, like I can just the outline of the duck instead of like a full logo. But yeah, I mean, again, like I don't. I'm new here and I don't wanna just like do all the things of other people.
Well, we're
want to
already
do
having you do a
things.
lot, so.
I just, yeah, I mean, this is like.
If
if
you
I'm
wanna
already
take a
designed
stab
that
at
way,
it, by all means,
Are
sure.
you, okay, I
Yeah.
just wanna make sure that, like, I'm not stepping on people's toes or anything, but this plus the sheet from, yeah, it was the sheet from last time, like. I think all the elements that are here. Like, there is there's gotta be something in here that is combined, cause I agree, I think the circle. Is the best option,
I agree,
Um,
yeah.
and I do like the idea of the violet, so yeah, I can take a stab at it, especially if you are sick of working on it, and bring some options for next time, so that we can all be here
And
to.
I just want us to be able to move along
Yeah.
with it, and so that you have it for your brochures and we can start using it for other things.
So we can just say like, with the options that we have already, and then whatever I put together, like, we can also just. Within
Okay.
ourselves, decide that next meeting we will be picking a
Yes.
logo regardless.
Even if there's only 4 of us.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
All right,
Cool.
so move on from that. Okay, 4.12, we've already discussed the Youth Conservation Corps. We're going to be tabling that till next year.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay, we're getting there, guys. I think.
Mhm.
5.1 Grassett property. This was supposed to be removed from the agenda.
That is true.
Yep.
Why wasn't it? I don't know.
I was going crazy. There were like random ones missing from mine, and I realized that this is Jenna's. List of things that she had to contribute
Oh.
to, so it doesn't actually include all of them.
Oh,
Sorry.
but yeah, so we need to get Grassett property off.
And Mende as well.
Is it Mende or is it Hayes? Which one is the one that we're trying
Well,
to
Jenna's
get?
thing says that Hayes
Hayes was
is now,
sold.
no.
Which one was
Jenna's-
sold?
I thought Hayes was sold.
Yeah, but Jenna's says, David Hayes property, this is the property we thought we had lost out on last year, when it appeared to sell, according to Zillow. However, I drove past it on 329. There is no development nor signage, and it looks as it was. It apparently did not sell after all. I wanted to add it to the agenda in case.
Okay, all right,
I don't think we should remove
all
that
right.
one.
No,
So Grassett is off, but,
Mende I thought was off.
Mende.
Yeah, that's supposed to be off as well. My bad.
Mende. What happened with that one? Did he decide that he was tired of waiting?
So I have, I do know that he did contact, the town manager. I have, pinged, the solicitor. And I am waiting to hear.
So it's still in process, it hasn't been removed from consideration?
I mean, it has been approved by the town, council.
Okay,
So
we're
I don't
just-
think we want to eliminate that property.
No, so
from-
we
Well,
want to keep it up on the agenda to keep updates on where
Yeah,
that,
Sure.
where it happens, yeah,
yeah.
I mean. Until he says,
No, right.
town, I'm done with you,
Right,
I'm gonna pursue other avenues, I think we have to keep it on the agenda.
right.
Okay.
I think we want that, we want those development rights.
Right.
It's just how patient he's going to be with waiting for us to resolve all this stuff.
Mhm.
And there's so much going on in town right now,
It's
I
gonna
know.
No way
stretch it
to
out
get
even longer.
answers into
Yeah.
anything anytime
It's a
quicker.
mess.
So then moving on to Pettegrew property, I don't know if anything's going on there.
So the only thing that may be going on there is we are getting towards the end of the fiscal year.
Mhm.
And I do know that, the director is trying to get us, a bit more money
Okay,
in our account so that we can, um, we can pay for an appraisal.
Okay,
okay,
I have gotten a couple more quotes, and they're all between $3,000 and $3,500.
okay.
okay,
So, yeah, because that was an agenda item I wanted put on for, if not for this meeting, we need to discuss having money for appraisals, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
okay,
that's under 7.2.
Yep.
okay.
So, okay. Cotter property, so,
So
Jenna's
yes,
Thing says,
We will,
apparently on 3/28, someone visited the planning department about this property, and Miss Cotter had sent a reschedule email the morning of 3/29.
okay,
I don't know.
which nobody got.
right,
It starts with apparently, so I don't know if we, again, that's just. what
Okay.
the straight up put together.
Yeah, so, on the, we are not the only people that she is speaking to.
Okay,
Um,
that's why she hasn't returned my emails.
possibly.
Okay. So
She decided she.
yeah, so yeah, I've reached out to her twice
Mhm.
independently to reschedule a site walk, and I have gotten no email in return. So I think
I did
maybe we'll
sarcasm.
keep it on the agenda for one more time,
yep,
but
Yep.
then
Sure.
after that, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna,
because we can't score it,
Right.
because the only
Right.
people who walked it were myself, Justine, and Jenna,
well,
so.
if she's not interested in
And-
pursuing it with us, then
Which
which,
Jenna's notes about it, like, this does seem like a. Nice property based on the.
Mhm.
like,
It's a
the
great
business
location,
she has
Right.
Here, but.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any other way to get in contact with her.
Yep,
The only
Mhm.
contact info I have is her email.
that's what I've
Why
been
don't you all
sending.
send me emails?
Like last week. So,
I'd say maybe give it
Tonight.
one more shot between now
I,
and the next meeting.
yeah, I think the ball's in her court right now,
Mm.
personally. That's
Mhm.
my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, it just
Especially, I mean, she
depends on-
didn't. We don't know that she actually gave that information about rescheduling the site walk. I mean, we
Yeah,
assume
I
that
agree,
she
I mean,
did.
it really
So-
is just as far as the people that were there, as far as
Yeah,
for now, it's like, if it's a
yeah.
property that we think is worth putting in the effort for, but
Yeah.
if we'd rather just be like, it's on her now.
I think it's, I mean, it was a nice piece of property, but at the moment, we have so many things on our plate. I'm not gonna pursue somebody who's only lukewarm about,
Yeah, and we can't, even if we did score it, we can't get an appraisal,
right,
because we don't have any money to appraise it.
so,
So,
Talk about that next time, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
things change. And then, yeah,
And then
Jen's
the
thinking about doing
Hayes
I feel like,
property.
again, we can
yeah, we'll probably table any discussion. I'm glad to see that maybe we can try again.
Or that one,
Mhm.
yeah.
But again, without money to do any appraisals, our hands are pretty much totally tied on doing any kind of acquisition,
right,
so. Things, we just. We're dead in the water.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so 6-1 boundary markers and signs, I'm gonna consolidate these two. So
Okay,
Jenna and Rory and I were out at Bowden on Saturday. We put boundary markers up along the side of the Williams Crossing Trail. And it's just gonna be a work in progress on getting
It's very
those up.
cold in there.
It's cold, yeah, thank you.
And I am.
Yeah,
Josh, we saw more propane tanks and
Oh, good.
crap in there as well, so,
Sorry.
yeah.
you saw a propane tank?
Yeah, that's that red, yeah, it's like this big. I
I
just
didn't-
couldn't get it was too slippery.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
she-
even, I
And the
must have
other
been,
tanks back there too.
must have been drilling or something, when you guys saw it.
I tried to get in to get it, and then I thought, what am I gonna do with it when I get it?
Mhm.
You know, but,
Okay, okay,
so there's more stuff there. Cause that could be another cleanup.
Yeah.
Boy Scout thing, so.
Do we wanna schedule another time to do a second round of them? Of trail marking?
Get through the Earth Day.
yeah, let's get through Earth Day,
Yeah.
and maybe some more stable weather patterns.
mhm,
But yeah, get through Earth Day. I think we've done discussion of trail system maintenance improvements. That's gonna be all Bowden right now. Again,
mhm.
We can talk about that.
we don't have people to do other stuff. I mean, I've been out to Whipple several times and cleaned up trash. I sent you guys the email about the
Homeless person,
homeless person camped out throwing Cheeto boxes. I mean, it's just one of those things where if you're out walking the trails, take a
Right.
trash bag and
yep.
just clean up.
And talking about Whipple, my daughter and I walked it yesterday. She had never been on the property before, and she said there was like 3 places where we thought we could use more another sign. That seemed confusing, and then there was, as far as the yellow trail, she also suggested having signs that said to the parking lot. So,
Agreed.
yeah,
I get very confused in Whipple, I'm being honest.
right,
Yeah.
okay, so,
Especially when I'm just following wherever my dogs are pulling me around. So
Right.
like it,
I think they're trying to lose you.
yes.
sometimes I think that might.
Grab the
be-
keys.
Well, we had our dogs too, so yeah.
Yeah,
Been around
yeah.
with a lot of little trails in there, so.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, and that's. We have 3 fence posts and many more small yellow trail signs to put up. The fence posts were going to go at the parking lots to direct people to the yellow trail perimeter trail. But we need Parks and Rec to help us put those in.
Mhm.
We had Glenn to dig holes for us before and help us put the cement in and all that kind of stuff when we did it at Bowden. So I don't know, is Parks and Rec gonna attend the meetings or?
Yeah, so I do include them on all land trust communications. The director of Parks and Rec is out this week.
Okay, okay,
Um,
so it's coincidence.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, so I'm going to ask Larry to make us a couple more signs. What did your daughter say? 3 to the parking lot?
Just like to the parking lot signs, but maybe one for each direction. In other words, so if you're coming, you know, one counterclockwise or clockwise
Okay.
around the loop, so, and for both parking lots.
Okay,
For both sides, so. okay,
Yeah.
One would say Sandy Bottom parking lot.
Mhm.
one would
Right.
say,
Yeah, if they could even
Main
say
Street.
Sandy
Main
Bottom
Street,
and
yeah.
Main, yeah.
Makes sense.
okay. All right, so I'm sure Larry will make us those. Now we just have to
Okay.
figure out how to get them up. But that's the other trail maintenance thing is in addition to the putting up another day for boundary markers, we need to have another day to put up the rest of the yellow trail signs,
Right.
which we weren't able to finish last year.
How's your dad with boundary markers? Do you think he can dig?
The
He
post
probably
holes.
shouldn't, but if we like,
Well,
but
he
if we
should.
were like, you know what, Dad, we need you to go do big man job, he'd be really excited about it, so.
Okay.
Okay.
I really wouldn't be surprised, like he's probably gonna be very excited about using his chainsaw, and I think he would be super into it.
Digging
And I can make my
holes,
brother do it.
helping
too.
cement.
There we
Okay,
go.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's 3 post holes and pouring some of this foam.
Pretty simple, it's pretty easy.
It's pretty easy. It's not too hard.
Yeah, sure.
The problem is when you run into the massive stones that are in.
Right,
Immediately
and
they
they're
get 'em
always
up.
there.
They're
Yeah.
always where you choose
Yeah,
to dig.
yeah.
Or you dig one hole like we did it, and then the other where it's gonna land is, and then you're positioning the key.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right, I'm going to suggest that we table prescribed burns.
Mhm.
It's a Jenna issue. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I think we can also table, like, I do think. Mom, I respect and agree, I think we can discuss the existence of the trail that isn't on our map, but is on all trails, etc. thing, but I think we can wait till after Earth Day, we can just focus
Right.
on.
I don't know, because without it, there isn't a loop, if we're not including the yellow trail, like that north trail. If we're suggesting people don't go on that because that's not the roughest thing, then there is no loop.
okay,
Hmm.
so,
And all, it is clearly on all trails, which is why I just don't feel like it's that big a deal to
Yep.
include it in our trail.
did you
map.
guys actually walk that
Yeah,
and it's very visible?
yeah,
Okay.
yes, it is.
It's arguably more clear than some of the trails
Okay.
that are on
Yeah.
our
Okay,
map.
wow.
so
Yeah.
I will either make every attempt to get out there and GPS it. If I can't GPS it, I'll figure out a way to pull it off all trails and incorporate it
Yeah.
into the map.
Let me.
So as a follow-up, I don't think anybody answered me when I asked this earlier. If I went out there, if there was just use spray paint, like with
With the yellow paint,
yellow and white, to make sure that the trails are easily followed. For Earth Day, is that allowed?
Yes,
it's allowed.
And some of the trees that had the paint on them have fallen down.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, 'cause sometimes we went out, I would go out with Dennis and Jack, and that's what we do.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yes, that would be fine.
We don't have a color for this all trails trail though. Cause we,
Wanted to somehow make it an extension of the blue.
Green,
does it feed off of the blue?
Here's what, I'll show you this, I'm just
I don't
trying to,
remember
I
it,
don't have a
sorry.
good enough.
Yeah, internet connection.
Well, no, I just don't have a good enough image in my head of what our map looks like.
Mhm.
This is what I have, that is what I pulled from when my mom and I went on all
Oh,
trails,
okay.
like, it tracks your
Yep,
walk and I
okay,
can pull those.
Okay,
So I don't know, like. I think this is. It, question mark, but I also don't remember, we could have like gone back, so if this doesn't look like the shape of our map.
yeah, no, that that single stem there, that's the blue
This?
trail.
This here.
Yeah, and then it goes all the way down to the intersection there. And then the easternmost trail that goes north to south, that's what I believe is the yellow trail.
So none of this then is, like, this is all accurate to our map?
Can you pull up your R map?
I'm trying to.
No, I mean, can, and,
Well, let's- you
Sure,
can't put
probably
that
not.
up.
Oh, it's the one we need. There we go. Okay.
You'll have the-
So this is the map that we have right now. Okay, so that's the blue trail that you have. And then it looks like you have the lower yellow.
There it is.
Yep.
So it
And
is,
then you have the white one, the white trail.
Yep.
That goes over the brook.
Yeah.
And then what you're showing
what
is
this?
that's the northernmost horizontal line. What you're missing is the upper trail that goes through the boulder field.
Yep.
You don't have that one.
Yes.
So it looks like the one that you are talking about that's on all trails
Is
cuts through the middle somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know you can, that's very wet.
does that sound right, Mom? That it was
So
like,
are you looking at the all trails map?
oh, you know what, I can just do, I was just looking at the.
Because I believe on the all trails map that I'm looking at on my phone right now, it's a black dotted line.
Hold up, let me pull up my past.
And
Unless it's
On
just
the-
going across from the brook crossing over to the yellow.
Unless it
I
loops from
think
the,
that might.
I mean, there could be a,
because I know I was using, we were GPSing while we were walking, so I know that, I'm
And I'm, what I'm looking at, Mom, is I took our All Trails walk. Cause
Yeah.
it tracks you, and I took the, like, all of the points in which it GPS does and put that into a GIS map, so I have like a shape. Of a map, but it is just on like a general trail, like a general map image, it's not over Bowden's, our trail map.
It's like a straight line across the, below the yellow.
So I'm just trying to figure
Yeah.
out what that I have on here is the actual.
That straight line across is what's a better trail to walk than that irregular one that goes north.
Oh, that's it, God, I remember now, I remember now.
Instead of going up to the boulder field.
It is just from here to there. Instead of going, you just keep here and go like that.
How do you get across the wetlands though?
You do have to kind of hop from, little island to island, but
Yeah.
it's not a lot.
Yeah.
From there to there?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It
just
like makes
about
it,
the
yeah,
crossing.
exactly, it makes a straight line and it goes the boulder.
Alright, so that would, that could be an alternate route, I guess, but depending on the time of year, that could be very wet, you know?
does it avoid the
The
boulder
boulder
field?
field, yeah,
That's
I think that's
exactly
the
the point,
key.
yeah, so it cuts
So-
below the boulder field,
But
It
between
cuts-
the boulder field and brook crossing, looks like comes straight
it cuts
across.
from
Right.
here
Yeah,
to there.
Okay,
And
so
it's
that might
long.
actually be a safer trip.
Yeah,
Right.
the only like additional like difficulty is that there are some places where we had to like step on a couple rocks, but there wasn't any like
because it was wet.
balance and
Right.
scared of falling, it's
Yeah.
just like, I would say people that like can only do very easy hikes still wouldn't be able to do that trail, but it's by no, like, I think it was a lot more zen as a walk than,
It's a candidate for a little boardwalk, because it's just one spot that's tricky. But the rest of it is a wide and pretty easy trail.
okay.
So that would be And I think, I mean, the last time my husband and I walked there, I remember us thinking, why don't people just go here? And you avoid the
Exactly.
boulder field.
And it
And,
is an existing. trail,
and,
yeah.
you know,
Okay.
since then, we haven't felt comfortable doing like some of the aspects of Bowden.
Yeah.
But, and that was, you know, maybe 5 years ago.
Right.
So would it be helpful, so the way that all trails that I've been pulled from all trails is a little bit annoying, and again, I am very inexperienced with ArcGIS and only has the free version, so I couldn't get it to just be a line. Like it's just a whole bunch of
Right.
individual points, like
Mhm.
latitude, longitude points.
Mhm.
But if it would be helpful, like I can just send you,
Yeah, if you can send
That-
me that, that'd be
okay.
great.
Yeah, because it almost sounds like it would be a better way to send people than
yes.
the loop we have now.
Mhm, mhm.
I thought it was also more fun because then like. They're like nice, like they were like pitcher plants and like cute little things to look
Yeah.
around that I like enjoyed
Okay.
exploring.
Yeah, if you can send me those, I can
Yeah,
pop
I
those
will-
on the map.
I will do that.
Do we
That
want,
is a little trouble.
If
Yeah.
we can add it to our trail map, we just need to decide what color we want to
Right.
make it.
right,
So how about, we have blue and yellow and white, how about a red trail, right?
mhm. Yeah, I was gonna suggest red myself.
Yeah,
So we'll call it the red trail. Do we
Yep.
need to make a motion?
I make a
Uh,
motion
no.
that we,
Okay,
Well, I mean,
okay,
if you want to,
Well,
okay.
yeah,
please.
I make a motion that we map in a red trail
at Bowden.
at Bowden.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Any further discussion? Okay, so moved. We now have a red trail at Bowden.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
we accomplished something.
yeah, we
Thank
have an
you.
action item.
Thank you for your efforts on that.
Yeah, it was nice. Enjoyed it, I always enjoyed it. Game camera just needs to be switched to wildlife camera, do we need to talk about that?
Yeah, no, we don't need to talk about that. I sent out the movie of the ducks and,
Yeah,
I know, I love that.
Mhm.
so,
and that's like one of those things that again, if we were more active on social media, like that's a.
yeah. Oh, it's
Ideal.
good.
Put it
to-
out
Yeah.
there type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Now that it's better weather, I can get it out and when we were at the boundary marker event, that's dream. The end of Williams Crossing Road is beautiful. And
Yep.
so
Oh my
that's
God,
where I'm gonna
gorgeous.
put it next.
The brook. down
Yeah,
there, or is it-
right around the
oh,
brook there. It's
Mhm.
just, it's a
Beautiful.
fabulous
Yeah.
place. I don't have any idea what we'll get, but it's pretty.
exciting.
Okay, onboarding materials. I don't even know what this is.
I mean, Jenna has notes about that, but
All the
I
new
kind of-
members, I would imagine.
Yes, because we do have 3 new members.
Mhm.
And I think you have said that there used to be some materials that when new members came in, they were handed.
I don't,
Remember
Okay,
getting
it,
anything?
I
don't know.
okay.
well, Jenna's
But-
thing says, while there used to be an onboarding package that new land trust members would receive upon being appointed, that package hasn't been given out in a long time. I believe most of us here did not get one. We should develop one for the future.
I didn't get one, no.
I never got
Yeah.
one.
And important for a new member to have an understanding of various items like our property portfolio, open meeting law, the general information about public meetings, the status of the land trust, strategic plan once finalized, etc.
I think
That would be really helpful.
there was something that I remember somebody giving me, but it wasn't an onboarding material. It was maybe something here, have some, like maybe 4 meetings in,
Mhm.
kind of thing. Maybe you should. But I don't really remember anything like that.
Rory,
And
you've got
Rory
the
is-
longest.
Yeah.
It's on the longest.
I think we can
Okay,
discuss this more next time.
Yeah.
yeah. But we'll have to have 1 or 2 work sessions to
Yeah,
put something
yeah,
like that
yeah.
together. So for now, I think we have enough on our plate. And hopefully we don't need to onboard anybody else in the near future.
But still, I mean, anything we do come up with, like, if we were to put anything like this together, like, it would be helpful to either one, be a part of that process or get
Mm,
these things,
yeah.
because some of the stuff that we're talking about is tough to.
absolutely.
I have to admit that I am thinking about leaving, not precipitously, but I feel like I'm so excited about the young and vigorous people who are coming that I feel like I'm aging out and that it would be better to have somebody who could physically get out there in
That
my
assumes
place.
that we would be able to find somebody.
But also like.
And
no, I
you're
feel
offering other
If-
things
if-
for us.
You want to, but I don't think there's really such a thing as aging out of a land trust. I think there's a lot of value in having
Okay.
a
It's like
variety of
in-
people.
Institutional knowledge.
Mhm.
Yes,
Thanks.
that would be,
Experience.
that I feel like you guys have already lost a few people that have a lot of that. It would be a
Mm.
real
Yeah.
shame to
Okay.
lose more. I mean, if you're unhappy, if you hate hanging out with all of us. then that's
I
fine.
certainly don't hate
But-
hanging out with you.
Well, we keep a surprise, but I don't want you to feel that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, funding options for appraisals. Josh, you said that somebody's working on, is it Doug who's
Yes,
getting? working
yeah,
on
yeah,
getting this
yeah,
money?
we're, he's trying to get us more money, or an account that would be for appraisals, that would not be tied to our budget, but would be something that would be on its own.
Mhm.
Um,
An isolated account
yeah.
just for appraisals.
yep.
Okay,
Is that? we
thank you
can't-
for us.
That would
Sure.
be great.
I mean, we
'cause
can't do anything
We
without
can't
it.
do our job without
Yep.
appraisals.
Yep.
Okay, well, tell him we're wholeheartedly in favor of it, and
Yeah.
if he can pursue it, I don't know how anything is gonna happen right now, but,
Mhm.
okay. Anything else on that? Okay, so I'm gonna collapse 7.3 and 7.4 together in the interest of time. Josh, you've already mentioned that the Karen and Cook properties are things that we should look at, so
Yeah,
I it would be great to try and
yeah,
target
sure.
these as potential properties for the future.
I think I have to get rid of a whole bunch of other. Come on, why not?
It's too slow.
Yeah.
Yep. We also, I feel like we can also talk about this one next time too.
There we go. All right. Um. So for example, Bowden is here,
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the
Oh,
one to the
wow.
north.
and this one would, it is adjacent to.
Mm-hmm.
It does have frontage on Williams Crossing Road. But I thought it was at least interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the other one, which is.
And if we
317.
have that, would Williams Crossing Road be more accessible than Ledge Road?
Theoretically.
Yeah,
Be depending
Yeah.
on, I mean, accessible, do you mean
Or just
parking
that-
or?
Just that Ledge Road is so
Windy and.
windy and
Yeah.
precipitous.
Well,
and
Williams Crossing isn't all that.
I don't know anything about.
Williams Crossing is pretty,
And it's pretty narrow.
it's very
Mhm.
narrow and
Okay.
very
The
windy
parking
as
down
well.
there, there's not a lot of.
There's not a lot of parking,
Yeah.
so that's
Okay.
where we would run into. But I mean, I don't know what that little tiny triangle is.
That there,
Yeah, is that also?
I think it has a house on it. I forget exactly.
Okay, all right, well, we can look at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The other property is here.
Mhm.
This is Nalon.
Yeah.
Bowden of course is there. And it's it is a property that is adjacent to one of our properties.
Mhm.
You know,
Expand it a little bit.
yeah, you know, expand the land trust, you know,
Is this a
Okay.
property, this doesn't have trails?
No,
it,
the
no.
Malin one does not.
It's just, I'm, you know, wondering how we can expand, you know,
Yeah, no, I.
like a
It would be-
Like,
That'd be a really
blob.
cool
that
thing to
like
think about, to extend a
swallow
trail
adjacent
up
properties.
Bowden to cross over the bike path and then go on to the Nailing property.
That would be, yeah.
It's gonna be turning into
So,
a.
yeah, you
Perfect.
know, I haven't contacted either
Mhm.
land owner. They certainly haven't contacted me,
Okay.
but these are two
Okay.
things that popped into
Yeah, no, thank you for.
my
keeping
head
that.
when I was looking around.
Based on the appraisal situation and.
Exactly,
Mhm.
About
yeah.
More, I think
Yeah,
would
I
be
can't-
great, but again, it's. I don't want to get our hopes up
Yeah.
if we can't pay
Yeah.
her.
Mhm.
Thank you for checking those out.
Yeah.
Ross.
Mhm.
And,
Okay, so.
yeah, okay.
Good. So that finishes the old business. Do we have any issues of interest for May 20? I think well, I mean, we've got a lot of issues for May 20.
Yeah,
Don't even
we've got
know what
plenty
they are.
already.
The only
Um,
other thing that I was thinking of when, with the mention of Neon property is that, we have a number of properties. We need to revisit what are our properties, because we have properties we didn't even know we
Mhm.
had. And I think that should be on the agenda item at some
So
point.
I actually have
Yeah.
a
Giving me the-
list that I found that was properties that were owned up until I think it was 2013. And I added on to that. And I tried to find which properties we have a conservation restriction on. And I can certainly share that.
Okay,
I'd love to, yeah.
That would be a nice thing to have. and, you know,
There's a digital version of those properties too. I've
mhm,
taken the parcel maps and pulled all those out and made them into a separate layer so they can be easily mapped.
okay.
So. but- Okay, and I actually forgot to mention Larry's beautiful thing under signs. But this is the new 3D model. You'll be able to display at the library, perhaps out in the front hall here at some point and take to different events. So I don't know if you guys want to bring it to Earth Day. If you're going to have a table, somebody want to take possession of it for Earth Day?
I can put it in my trunk and carry it to Earth Day. My trunk's probably not to be used that much.
Okay.
And then-
If you don't mind, that'd be great. Well, thank you. All right, I guess I have to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Or, so. Well, one of us make a motion.
Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
And I have a second.
Second.
So a motion made by Linda, seconded by Rory to adjourn the meeting. It's 8:57.
And vote, and we're all in favor. Aye.
Oh, are we all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Eyes all around.
I tried my best, state, to follow open meetings.